Have you ever had a dream? A dream to go to space? We will stop you. You will die.
Carmine, Serpent, and Coyote share this dream. Unfortunately, they're controlled by a psychotic femboy who doesn't give a shit. Armed with only a few weapons and a small amount of food, they had to build quickly to survive. I had them construct a large shack to sleep for the night. They had to sleep in the dirt without research for beds. Not that I really cared, I could have made them bedrolls, but I'd rather not waste the leather. In the morning I had them construct a stove and a butcher table and a research bench to make more complex furniture so they'd stop complaining about sleeping on the ground, and Coyote set to work planting a field of rice. With the chores completed for the night, I had Carmine construct another research bench to speed up our technological progress and arm the others with recurve bows. Hopefully, with the recurve bows, they could get enough food to be able to survive for the next few days before the rice is finished. Which, speaking of, we started running out of food the following day. We'd already chewed through half our supplies, so Carmine and Coyote set out with their new bows to kill the local wildlife. It wasn't long until Carmine had finished researching complex furniture, and they could finally stop complaining and enjoy the comfort of a bed. We spent the next few days hunting and constructing a significant expansion to the base, planning out a new kitchen, a new dining area, and 3 bedrooms. Keeping the Revians happy will be challenging, with their dark god demanding blood. Going for too long without killing others will cause them to enter a blood rage, giving them a -10 mood debuff. Given this, my plan is to make them happy with more conventional means rather than the blood of their enemies. Eventually the rice had grown. Unfortunately our harvest would not keep these Rivians fed for long, as their genetics confer a 200% metabolic rate. Without any skilled farmer, as Coyote isn't actually all that good, our harvest was by no means bountiful. A psychic drone had also started in the area, a low one, but it was worsening everyone's mood. Hopefully constructing the new bedrooms would help them deal with the hardships of this pitiful existence. However, another mood debuff came from food poisoning from our incompetent chef. Rivians aren't exactly known for being good chefs or farmers, so it's going to be difficult to keep them fed and happy. The following day, we constructed a food storage area next to the new kitchen and dining room, unknowingly building it to look like a small, well, something they've never seen before, as all Revians and everything on this planet is female. Over the next several days, we began fleshing out the place, adding furniture and a tailor bench to make winter parkas, laying out marble flooring, and planting more crops for our diminishing food supply. A quest just came in. A prisoner named Solstice contacted us, and Carmine and Coyote head out to rescue her, leaving Serpent to her own devices with only a single meal to sustain her. So she spent the rest of the night hunting turkey and deer to abate the gnawing hunger. Carmine and Coyote arrived and engaged the kidnapper in battle, Coyote decapitating him in a brutal display. We rescued Solstice and recruited her to our cause, taking what we could and leaving the rest. Despite her brutal, bloodlust nature, Solstice is pacifist for some reason, incapable of combat. It will be difficult to keep her happy, but we need all the help we can get. And her skills in constructing and crafting will help keep her and the others happy in more conventional means. While Serpent slept, a flash of lightning ignited the surrounding forest before engulfing our wooden base into a blaze, igniting our food area and kitchen into an inferno. Coyote and Carmine arrived just in time to stop the blaze before it spread further, but at a cost. As in the fire, Coyote had lost her left eye in the blaze, but she's not a shooter, and she's not going to be using any guns anytime soon, so I don't really see that much of a loss. With our food supply destroyed, we only had what we had brought with the prisoner to sustain ourselves, which was a few meals at most. The loss of our stove, we also needed steel to rebuild it, and with no competent miners, obtaining enough to rebuild would take a while. Our colonists were subjected to eating raw, uncooked rice for the time being, bringing down everyone's mood. After forcing Solstice to mine steel for several days with food poisoning, chin up Solstice, it'll all be over soon, we finally had enough steel to rebuild our kitchen and could start preparing for the coming winter. A wild Revian had gotten extreme hypothermia right outside our base, so we took her in. She had a good social, construction, and melee skill. Welcome to the Death Spiral, Alligator. You'll fit right in. Which, speaking of, here comes the icing on the cake of despair. Coyote, our only planter and competent chef, was mauled and killed by a bear. So now, not only is everyone sad, but our food supply is dangerously low without someone competent in harvesting. Oh, and winter is coming. At least Carmine got a meal out of the bear while bleeding out. It was at this point I realized I had designed the ugliest Rimworld base in existence. It was almost winter, and I didn't have any electricity, and I have no one to get steel or components when I do discover it. And my storage room is extremely flammable. More on that later. It got cold enough to start killing all my crops, and I had to panic harvest what I could. And the catalyst to completely destroy what we had built was a bug quest when a refugee wanted our help. I couldn't resist the temptation of what would happen, completely missing that our main combatant was on a mental break. There were only 2 Revia, but we only had 2 fighters with bows, as Solstice is incapable of violence, which I totally forgot about in the moment. Even while she watched her friends get mowed down by the raiders, Alligator refused to do anything about it. The raiders started a fire, and while I scrambled to save everyone, Solstice was kidnapped. While I was tending Carmine, the small fire the raiders started became my entire storeroom, and Carmine didn't make it, unfortunately. It was up to Serpent and Alligator to save this run. Starvation had set in, everything was destroyed. Serpent even had to eat Carmine and went catatonic. Not even the man in black could save us from our utter despair. Alligator ended up going berserk and killing the man in black. In her rampage, she'd gotten a major infection, and it wasn't long until it claimed her. Serpent left, desperate to get away from the horrors she had seen. To start a new life, far away. She could live here. Thrive here, even. But she got mad and attacked a Mooflo, ending the run. So why spend so much time talking about a failed run? Well, this isn't my first failed run, or the second, or even the third. You sacrifice all your friends. I only managed to get a good run once in my playtesting before making this video, as that Blood Rage debuff is a killer. But there is some hope, as far away, a group was thriving amidst the utter despair of this Rimworld.